next edition we're going to talk about is an interesting one. I think the most interesting of all the Six Flags editions for next year. I mean, the Super Loop thing is just weird and kind of out of place and whatnot, but this is the most interesting. And we're talking Six Flags Fiesta Texas here. They're getting the first ever, the only, right? Out of all the new Six Flags for 2015, this is the only first ever S&S free fly coaster.
Yeah, that's what they're calling it. 4D free fly?
Oh, 4D free
I don't
fly.
know. It's a free fly is good enough for me.
Yeah. I guess the 4D, that was established by Arrow when the very first time we had a ride with the cars on the sides of the rails.
Right, with
Kind
X.
Yeah, with X. So yeah, S&S made this. I'm surprised by that to start with, because S&S was sold to like a Chinese company or something, and
Well, they don't make a lot of coasters. S&S.
And then on top of that, yeah, they don't make a lot of coasters anyway. But I also kind of thought that they were kind of done, or I wasn't really sure what was going on. And then this happened.
Yeah. No,
and then all of a sudden,
they're definitely still kicking. It's just, I think nowadays they do a lot of their business overseas, not in the States.
no, that's what it is, maybe. All right.
But they did just open a El Loco at Adventure Dome in Circus, Las Vegas.
Oh, what is that again?
That's a compact steel coaster.
Is that the one that rides upside down?
It's another trend.
Oh. Speaking of trends, we should do a trend show. Right here, right now.
You know what? Remember that.
Okay.
Mark that down. It's really wacky. The track is very wacky.
The Wild Hog.
Yes.
Oh, the one that actually...
It's one of those.
It like banks the opposite way.
It's very
At one
strange,
point,
yeah.
they figured that was a great idea. I don't know why. All right, that's El Loco. Okay, so it's just like their...
So, yeah, they just opened...
It's
called El Loco at Adventure Dome. They just opened that in 2014.
It's their Eurofighter / whatever the Morrison calls it.
Oh, Steel Hog.
Oh, Steel Hog.
Yeah, that was 2008.
Yeah, okay.
I just want to say, I love S&S. I think they put out a lot of really great products over the years. A lot of great rides. Fantastic ideas. Pretty much all of those ideas were when Stan Checketts was running the company, when he owned the company. But I also kind of love S&S because some of the Arrow guys went there when Arrow went under. And I like that you can, if you want a 4D coaster like X at Magic Mountain, you can actually order one. You can still get one if you really want it.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, if you want Dragonfire, you could still order one.
And that's really interesting.
Although they may have burned the plans. I don't know. They may have. But I'm thinking in some weird way, because they bought...
Yeah.
Technically, they bought whatever Arrow had left at the end, right? So they should have been privy to all those plans and blueprints and
right,
all that technology, whatever they had.
So if you want an Arrow-style Mega Looper, I guess technically you can still order one.
No one's doing that, I guess, but...
No, I don't think anyone will, but it's just peace of mind, I guess, to know that it's possible.
To know that if I ever get wealthy enough, I can do it.
Right.
And I will.
I can get Dragonfire built in my backyard.
Because it will happen. If I ever got wealthy enough, it would happen. Yeah, so yeah, I actually was forgetting about that. But yes, that's definitely why this is called 4D then, because they bought 4D.
Yeah.
The 4D coaster. And so this is now like the 4D, the next thing. It's not necessarily the next like level, because it's actually smaller.
No, this is actually a step back. Sort of like the Super Loop thing.
Yeah, well, the step forward part of this, at least compared to what the original 4D coaster is, the X, now X2, is that this is the free spinning version, and not the controlled spin. But they were beaten to that anyway by Intamin.
Right.
With the Zack spin.
Well, maybe we should watch this video.
Oh, you want for the video? All right.
And get a better idea of what we're talking about.
All right, so this is, again, Six Flags Fiesta Texas. New for 2015, the S&S 4D free fly coaster. And it's going to be called Batman the Ride. And it is a world's first.
The world's first Batman the Ride.
Yes. No.
almost, huh?
And there she goes. Oh boy.
Track looks very similar to that Rocky Mountain track.
Yeah, that's
Steel
the
I-beam
new
track.
thing, like the I-beam track. No more tubular rail.
Oh, that's really wacky. It's spinning a lot.
Oh god, I'm
Crazy
I'm,
turns.
like ready to tap out already.
You never know what you're gonna get.
It just looks so dumb. When you see the whole thing in a wide shot, it just looks so stupid.
Flip
I don't understand that. How do they know? I thought the idea is it's random.
Well, yeah, it's a crapshoot.
So how do they know what flips six times?
I don't know. They're just saying that.
Batman the Ride. Now that's a bad choice. Fiesta Texas. Before we even get into that, anything about the ride, just the name is. Why do they do that?
Oh, yeah.
That was really dumb. And all the repeating of names they've done over the years, they've managed to at least keep Batman the Ride as always being that same B&M inverted model.
Yeah.
As a matter of
that is
fact,
interesting,
B&M
yeah.
themselves never came up with a name for that model, so that it ended up just becoming the Batman the Ride. Like that's sort of the name of that model that the enthusiast community uses.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a few other installations that are not called Batman the Ride, like the one at SeaWorld, Texas, or whatever. But like you call it when we're talking to each other. It's like, what is that again? Oh, it's a Batman the Ride. Oh, I know.
yeah.
So that almost has become synonymous with that. So for Six Flags, finally, after all these years, to do this is kind of stupid. And there's a couple other Batman, but it's like they had Batman the Escape, that's now gone, but they had it at Astroworld.
Mm-hmm.
There's Batman Dark Knight at New England. Then there's the two indoor mouse coasters that are just called Dark Knight, not even Batman, it's just Dark Knight.
They should have called it Batman Night Flight. They did have that name at one point.
We used that one from many years ago.
Yeah.
There was another one they had.
Maybe they lost the rights to that.
and don't have. Yeah. So that's
That was at
unfortunate.
Six Flags Worlds of Adventure. Now Dominator at
In Ohio.
King's Dominion.
Now the coaster is Dominator. Yeah. That's a bad call.
just the name, or
I think.
right off
Just,
the bat.
yeah. Don't. Why do that? Why call it Batman the Ride? But just call it Batman something else.
Batman and Robin.
The Chiller. As a matter of fact, just rebuild that ride.
All right. So what about the design of this ride?
This is pretty. I mean, I think if I had not ridden Green Lantern at Magic Mountain, I would have been excited for this. But because I did, I'm not.
Yeah, then that's the whole thing.
Just because I've done this type of ride and I did not like it.
Horrible. We've said that more than once on this show. Green Lantern.
It's in the preview. It's in the what is Thanks for Riding.
Yeah. Green Lantern at Six Flags Magic Mountain. Horrendous ride.
Yeah.
Does not work at all. So to see SNS's version of that ride is not exciting, really.
I mean, the only thing is, I guess, is that at least it is a different version, so maybe
Yeah,
there's
it's
some
like-
outside chance that it's going to be good.
It's the only saving
Like
grace.
maybe they made it right. Like they figured it out, maybe. I don't know. Maybe their restraints and the way they design the track will work. But the Intamin, it was just... The restraints were just fighting you the whole time. You got so beat up, and you couldn't even begin to enjoy the actual motions you were going through because it was just you're just protecting yourself from getting beat up the whole time.
Yeah, I definitely trust SNS to get this right more than I trust Intamin to get it right.
I agree. So there is that. I mean, maybe there's a chance that this will be okay, and I definitely want to try one. I guess just for that reason.
Yeah, I definitely give it a shot.
But I wouldn't be surprised if I didn't like it and I never did it again at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's like, I just don't know, I just don't know. It's a gimmicky ride at best, and it could be really good, but I know at one point after X, the whole thing was, when are they going to do a free spinning one? But then it's, I don't know. And I don't know, I hate to think about it this way, but maybe age has something to do with it. Are we just a little too old? I mean, if we were 20 today, would that have made a difference? Would I be more into
maybe.
Maybe I would have been more into these type of rides now, than I am now. I don't know.
That's a good point. Maybe.
I don't know. So maybe there's a bunch of 18-year-old kids that are really gonna get a kick out of this, and maybe we're just getting a little too far from that now. I don't know. It's just a heck of a time. It's just really rough and not very good. Yeah, I have my doubts. I really do.
I think this ride has kind of an interesting evolution because S&S a long time ago came out with the Screaming Squirrel. Do you remember that?
That was just like a mouse car, and it just rode completely. It would go completely over the edge and ride upside down.
Right. So
Like, you'd just be riding straight, but upside down, just kind of going.
right. It's like you'd go. You're sitting upright. You go straight on the track, but then the track curves down and under.
Yeah.
So you're completely upside down, and then you'd go straight upside down for a little stretch, and then curve back around to being upright again, and then back underneath, and so forth.
Incidentally, that's a ride I'd like to try.
And that's a really wacky, crazy-looking ride.
That I feel could be fun.
So I think this ride type, it I don't know if it started there, but at least with S&S maybe it did. And then, of course, Arrow had X, the 4D coaster, where the cars were not free spinning. They had a set path and spin maneuver that they would do every single time. So you'd get the same experience every time. The same completely disorienting experience every time.
Yeah.
Where you'd sit next to the track, not on top of it or underneath it. You'd be beside the track. Then Intamin had their Zaxspin free spinning cars ride, where it looks a lot like this Batman the Ride, where you're just going up and down, back and forth, and free spinning on this car that's on the side of the track. And so now it's like you're taking the car from X and the track from this Intamin Zaxspin, and you're putting them together. And I think it's going to be bad.
No, you're calling it, huh? You think
I don't think this is going to be good. Well, I don't like free spinning cars. Generally on coasters. I don't think it really works. I like X because they figured out what would be the best experience, and they made sure that you got that experience every time instead of it being a crapshoot.
Yeah, you're big on that. Same
So
thing
I
with,
like
with
that.
simulators with the multiple.
Right, the
scenes.
randomizer
You're big
thing.
on just find out, calculate it, figure out what the best version is, and then just give me that every time.
Right.
You're very big on that. Okay.
Because you're going to have a lesser experience if it's random.
Yeah.
It's just the nature of it. So figure out whatever the best version is and have that be it every time.
Yeah.
That's just me, I guess. So I definitely check it out. I definitely would, but I don't think it's going to be good.
Yeah. For me, I don't know. Maybe I'm being stupidly optimistic here, but I don't want to go that far. I want to say it is S&S. They do hold the plans to X. They hold the key, and I think maybe they figured it out.
Okay, I hope they did.
And I want to think. I mean, I can't go so far as to say that I think it's going to be really good or whatnot, but I do think it'll be better than the Zaxspin.
Oh, I really hope so.
And unfortunately, Zaxspin was so bad, in my opinion, and I know both of our opinion really, that even being better than that could still be pretty bad. So that may not be saying much. I think it would be better than that, but it still could suck. I'm going to leave that window open until I actually do it.
Yeah, and I'm really torn about where this ride went in. It went in Six Flags Fiesta Texas. And we were just there this year, 2014.
Yeah.
And we won't be back probably for a very long time.
Yeah.
So one part of me says, oh, I don't think this ride's going to be very good, so I'm okay with it being put in a park that I'm not going to go back to for a long time. But at the same time, I wish it was closer so that I could try it out.
Yeah.
Kind of torn on that.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I guess if it's good, they may put it somewhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting. I guess even Six Flags knew that the Intamin Zaxspin wasn't that good.
Oh, interesting.
You know, this is the same chain. They're not putting another one of those in. They've said they bought someone else's version of it.
Yeah.
So maybe someone who knew something actually did ride some prototype of the S&S and was like, "Oh, this is much better. This is what we thought the other one was going to be, and now that was awful." You know, so that's something to that. The fact that they didn't just go with more Intamin Zack spins, and they're doing this instead. So that could be good. That could mean something.
Yeah, very good point.
One other thing I want to bring up here, out of all these additions we're talking about for Six Flags next year, interestingly enough, with the exception of the Rocky Mountain construction deals, where we know where those are going because they're going over existing rides, we don't know where most of the rest of these additions are going because they haven't said it, they haven't announced it, and they haven't announced where this Batman is going either in Fiesta Texas, but we just know because, you know, good reporting has told us and rumors and whatnot that it's going in the Rockville. So this is the one that we know for sure where it is going, more or less.
Yeah,
because we know they're closing the old antique cars, or not, weren't even antique cars. They were 50s cars.
50s cars, yeah.
Motorama
Turnpike.
And so they're closing that, but also they're discontinuing shows in the high school theater, which was an amazing facade.
Yeah,
we loved it when we were there.
All of Rockville is at Fiesta Texas is really cool. That was the first Rockville.
Well, it was built not even by Six Flags. Maybe
that's
part
right.
of the reason why it's so good.
Yeah, but it's you know, it makes me think: are they going to change all of Rockville into Gotham City, or are they going to take half of it and turn it into Gotham City, or what are they going to do? I don't know.
So yeah, that's my greater point. Even we do know where it's going, and where this is going, I think is kind of a negative.
Yeah, that's the only.
That's the thing. It's like, oh man, they're tearing up a great themed area.
Yeah,
they should have put this.
They should have
found
boardwalk
or
right another area.
Just put it up against the rock quarry somewhere in the back.
Because it's not like that park doesn't have space. They do have room.
Yeah, they have plenty of room.
So I don't know why they felt they had to
there's that whole
take out the cars. The cars aren't even gas powered. They were electric.
Yeah, they were electric cars. I mean, that's
so I don't know. Doesn't really make sense to me.
Yeah. So I'm also a little leery about that, or doubtful that they're gonna do the right thing. I feel like they're gonna make a mistake and tear too much of that area out, and it's gonna stink. But I guess we'll have to see. So this is the real wild card.
Yeah,
out of the new additions, where it really could go either way.
Joker's wild card. They didn't want to call it that.
Yeah. This could have been Joker Chaos Coaster. Give Joker a something wild.
That makes more sense.
I hesitated. I almost said give Joker a good ride, and then I was like, oh, I don't know if it's gonna be a good ride. That's what we were just saying. It's a wild card.
Yeah.
This really could go either way. It's a total 50-50. But still, I mean, it would have been Joker or Two-Face. It could be like a Two-Face's coin.
Oh, yeah.
Like you're the coin, flipping around.
Yeah, this makes a lot more sense themed to a villain than to Batman.
Yeah, I would say definitely a villain ride.
Yeah. It's like a torture device. It's not like
it almost kind
you're
of
escaping and having fun. It's
because you're just winding around back and forth and flipping around a lot. Yeah, villain ride definitely. Should have been Two-Face or Joker.
Well, they dropped the ball.
Yeah, once again. Once again.
Oh, look at this brand new park.
Oh, they're getting a second gate in Chicago. That's awesome. Hey, it's Whizzer. Hey, train. Nicely got it. Haha. It's Demon. Oh, that thing. Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Oh, weekly festivals. Oh, showcasing world-class coasters that are there anyway. All right, so they ran out of money, and basically Six Flags Great America isn't getting anything. Well, that's about it. So now it's time for the big bopper.
Hello, baby.
Six Flags Magic Mountain and their Twisted Colossus. I think this looks really good.
Oh, boy.
I mean, Magic Mountain, I already have multiple reasons to go to Magic Mountain and to keep wanting to go back. But this is just really ups the ante.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is like I kind of feel like we should go to Magic Mountain next year kind of thing.
Oh.
Kinda. it's almost that level. It's
They have a couple of really great rides at that park.
and then this is just really this could be really good.
Let's check it out.
All right,
Let's see what they're getting.
let's take a look at it. Here we go, folks. The world's longest. Where wood meets steel. Where have I heard that before?
Looks like somebody was having fun with the MIDI pizzicato strings.
Little adjustment there. on the first drop.
Backseat view, that's kind of different from these videos.
That's kind of. Yeah, we know they've done that before on the rides. It's the first hybrid though. What's that? It's the first time
Yeah.
Rocky Mountain did it. That was cool. You're gonna go over the other track, like in the 0G roll.
Yeah, that
looks
does look cool. Yeah. And then they do it like almost like on. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very cool. 18.
Oh man. In and out of the structure.
Yeah. It really is pretty twisted.
5,000. 4 minutes.
That's a very long coaster ride.
So they're gonna outdo California Adventure, right? California Screaming.
How long is that?
That's really long.
Yeah.
Longer than that.
And then you get to ride the other side. Look at this.
They put the two. That's
That's the craziest thing about all of this.
yeah. That they just made it all one ride. You just get both sides in one now.
Yeah.
They just connected it. So it's really 2 rides.
Yeah, it is.
It's a double shot every time.
Double shot of coasters. Well, yeah, one side by itself doesn't really look that way.
Yeah, even the video's long. Double up.
Yeah, one side by itself isn't very long. They knew that. And we got green rails and blue rails this time.
All right. I'm digging it.
That looks very cool.
Oh, baby, that's what I like.
Yeah, I liked combining the two into one.
That's
you know,
such a crazy
Get
idea.
both sides of a racer in one. You
Yeah.
don't have to go on it twice or worry about what side you're going to get.
Yeah, I do like that.
It's almost like Six Flags is protecting from themselves. It's like they know that as a company, they have a tendency to only have one side of a dual-sided ride open. So they like did something so that in the design of this one, so that couldn't happen. So it'll always be that both sides are running because it's really all one ride.
Yeah, it's funny that what you just said, that did occur to me.
It's like we
When-
know
when I
how we tend to be. So
Yeah.
we're gonna try to protect this ride against our own bad habits.
Right, yeah.
Kinda
Which is good. It's you don't have to worry about it.
The only thing I wonder though is, are you gonna get a race though? Because how you
That
gonna
was
time
other thought I had about
a train that's already on the track that's just going through its own motions, and then always have a train dispatching from the station at the right time? Are they gonna be able to
Right.
handle that?
That I was trying to work that out in my head when I first read about this, and I have no idea how this is going to work unless they hold the train that has gone through the track once already, that one side, unless they hold that train to wait for the next one to go.
Well, I said they have to have put in some kind of a smart lift system, like
yeah,
Dueling
yeah,
Dragons.
They're gonna have to do that.
that had the smart where it weighed the trains. Actually, that was a little bit even more, but something like that with sensors and yeah, it would know to wait. They'd wait for each other.
Well, I wonder how long that's going to last.
Before they're running one train operation on the whole thing.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how it works, if it works at all, or if it does work, if they get it down for a while, but then I could see, eventually 10 years down the road they kind of give up on it, or and then they just start dispatching the trains whenever, and there's no more racing. But I mean, it'll definitely will be a good, fun ride, I think, on its own, but it really would need that racing element to really bring the whole thing together.
Yeah, I think so. I agree with you because of those couple of elements that they threw in there, like that high five element and those couple of times where you're twisting over and under one another.
Yeah,
those moments especially.
The rolls right over each other.
Yeah, you need that other train there to get the full effect.
Yeah, plus it's just like, who doesn't love a racing ride?
Right. Yeah, actually watching the video, it reminded me a little bit of Lightning Racer, how that ride really twists around each other, the tracks, how they intertwine. Because it's not the best ride, but the racing element is fun, especially towards the end when they're going over each other and under each other. That's my favorite part of the ride, I think. When you're just, it's almost like pure speed, but you're somehow twisting back and forth. And this looks like it has a little bit of that, and I think that could be really cool.
Yeah, it looks like a better Lightning Racer. One other thought that I had while watching this is Gemini may have finally found its match. Because, and I know we were at Cedar Point this year and last year. We go a lot. And I think we were both agreeing that Gemini is probably the best racing coaster. I don't know that anyone has ever really gotten the elements together as well. And it's an old ride, so it's kind of shocking.
Yeah.
But yet, in some ways, I think that's still the most fun. That's still just the one that works the best.
Yeah, I mean, what else is there really? You have you have Racer at Kings Island.
Oh, I was thinking Kennywood.
You have Racer at Kennywood.
Yeah.
You have Rebel Yell at King's Dominion.
Yeah. Well, the whole series of those.
Yeah, and Thunder
those
Road
Kings
at Carowinds.
And then Lightning Racer.
Lightning Racer at Hershey Park.
And then Colossus
there. Was, yeah. Yeah, we're not talking about dueling coasters. That's a different category. Like Dueling Dragons.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of a different thing.
Just the racing ones. There was never too many. And,
yeah.
But I always thought Gemini was the best.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't know. I think it might finally get a run for its money with this one.
Yeah.
The Twisted Colossus could be even more fun if they do it right and always give you a race every time you ride. It could be better and more fun than even Gemini.
Yeah, I think Rocky Mountain has outdone itself, at least in terms of concept. Because this is, it's new for them, definitely. But it's also just, a Mobius strip is not a common thing for coasters, so...
Yeah, that's been done very few times in the history of roller coasters,
So they're really, trying to do something different here, and I think that's great.
I think this has a lot of great potential. It's funny, though. It's almost... and this has come up a lot, this whole conversation about park choice. And is this particular installation right for this particular park? And it's not that Magic Mountain couldn't use this, or maybe Colossus couldn't use this, because Colossus, the way it was garbage.
Yeah, that ride was not good.
It's a really poor wooden coaster. It had almost no redeeming qualities, really.
Yeah.
It was just big, and it was like dumb, right? It was like it was just a big dumb ride.
Yeah.
It really was. Because it was big, and you thought it might be something just because of its size, but it wasn't. No airtime, no real speed, no real anything. Just a bunch of nothing. Very bland, forgettable ride.
Yeah, big dumb ride is the best way to describe that one.
Yeah, so, I mean, definitely this is a great move for that ride. But I just can't help but feel, when you have Magic Mountain, it's just they have so much already.
Yeah.
And it's just like... This ride could be really awesome, but it's like they just don't need it, though.
Right.
They have so many awesome rides already. It's like another park could have used this.
Right. It's just going to make that day at Magic Mountain that much more difficult. At least for, us, we're not locals. That's not our home park. We don't go there very often.
Yeah.
We only go there every so many years. So when we go, it's it's one day, and we try and get in as much as we can.
Yeah.
And Colossus is on the short list to be skipped.
Yeah, if the crowds were a little bit more than we expected or whatever the case was.
So we have to do it now.
Yeah.
So it's just another ride to cram into that
It's
day.
like you have to do it, and it could be so great that you want to do it again.
Yeah.
And then that may not even be possible, and then it's like they already have a real kick-ass Woody in
dude,
Apocalypse.
Oh my, yeah.
It's almost just too much. It's almost a case of too much. Too many great rides in one park. As weird as that is to say. It kind of is. And I know it couldn't have been anywhere else because it wasn't a from the ground up ride.
Yeah.
So it couldn't have been anywhere else. Like, it had to be there because that's where they had Colossus. But you know.
Right. I hope it rides as good as it looks. Can't wait to do it.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe 2 days in Magic Mountain for the first time ever. Day and a half or something. Figure something out.
Yeah. Gonna have to do something.
You have to. It's like getting to that point.
Just too many rides
Yeah.
to do.
Because you just don't get them all anymore in a day.
One more thing before you wrap it up. What do you think about the name Twisted Colossus?
Oh, yeah. And then we started with Wicked Cyclone. Now, I was thinking about this when I first saw these announcements. And I saw that these the newest Rocky Mountain coaster names, each with a different descriptor in front of the original name. Obviously, that's the gimmick that Six Flags is going to stick with. They're going to keep the original name and just add an adjective to it.
Right. New Texas Giant.
Yeah.
Iron
So,
Rattler. Wicked Cyclone. And now
Right.
Twisted Colossus.
So those are the four, right? What did they do with Medusa in Mexico?
No, for Medusa, at Six Flags Mexico, they changed it to Medusa Steel Coaster.
We started admitting it's steel. That's ironic.
Yeah.
They didn't go hybrid. They're just like, yeah, it's a steel ride. We're going to admit it. We'll admit it in Mexico. Don't tell anyone in the U.S.
Right.
They're still being fooled over there. They're going to get the Larson, too. They're going to call it Larson Super Loop Flat Ride. Don't tell them in the U.S., though. They think it's a coaster. They're stupid. Those stupid Americans don't buy anything. All right, so Medusa still coaster. Well, it's another country, so whatever. But at least for the most part, they're in the U.S. They're going with that plan. So now it will just be they have to always have a different one. So now going forward, you have to wonder what they'll use. So what do I don't know. The names are fine. I honestly think they went with Wicked because of the Boston thing, and it's
Of course they
closest to Boston.
do. Yeah.
It's a Massachusetts, New England thing.
It's a New England thing, yeah.
It's like they love that word. They use it
Yeah.
to mean a lot of things, but all good. It's like a positive descriptor. And I think that's why they went with that. I don't, and then but it kind of works on the other level too of the idea that all coaster names should be intimidating and somewhat foreboding. The idea that it's always like this name that says intensity or beware. It's just going to be so insane. That's just a typical way to go with coaster names. So Wicked also means that too. It's like, it's wicked.
Yeah, it's actually, for that park and that region, it's very fitting.
Because it works on both levels.
Yeah.
It's a local thing, and then it works that it's a wicked cyclone. I mean that it's just, it's so fierce. And then the Twisted is just Twisted, I guess. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Between the two, I think Wicked Cyclone is probably the better name. Twisted Colossus,
It's almost like a mouthful,
It just-
right? It's like hard to...
yeah, a little bit. It also just doesn't sound thrilling or mean, like, you're saying before, menacing, that kind of thing. It doesn't have a great ring to it.
Racing Colossus. I feel like they should have played more off on that.
Mm-hmm.
Or a Colossus Steel Coaster,
Sure.
as opposed to that wood one they used to have.
All right, Brian, with this round of announcements, the Six Flags chain announcements, what are you most looking forward to for 2015?
I have to... Well, you know what? For me, what I'm most looking forward to is Wicked Cyclone. Because it's the one that I know I'm definitely going to get. and I'm pretty sure it's going to be kick-ass. So really, that's the one I'm looking forward to the most. I mean, it's like I wanted to say Twisted Colossus, but when it's all said and done, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there is a possibility that the Cyclone will be better. Because it could almost be that the fact that Colossus is so sprawling could kind of work against it. It could have some dead spots, some boring parts. I think Wicked Cyclone maybe has a chance to just be all meat. Right off that lift. It's obviously going to be a shorter ride, you know, but yet it's going to just really just get you for the whole course, I think. So what about you, Andrew? What do you think?
I did have the thought that with Twisted Colossus, having that lift hill in the middle of your ride, you have the lift hill to start, like always, but then you have another equally long or probably even longer lift hill if you have to wait for that train to catch up to you, the other train to dispatch.
Which is a possibility. We don't know, but
that could really mess up the momentum of the ride. That could totally kill it. That's the only thing I'm concerned about with that ride. So Wicked Cyclone really, I think, actually has, I think maybe the better chance of being more satisfying because you're not going to have that interruption.
Yeah.
So I was going to say Twisted Colossus, but yeah, I think Wicked Cyclone I'm actually looking forward to more now.
After my last.
Yeah. You know, I don't know. Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. In the end, we're not going to know until we ride them.
Yeah.
We're not going to know for sure until we ride the two.
And that's the thing with rides and coasters and stuff. You got to ride it. You never know. Because with New Texas Giant and Iron Rattler.
Oh, yeah, even that.
I thought New Texas Giant was going to be the better of the two. And I ended up enjoying, well, we both ended up enjoying Iron Rattler more. So you never know.
We did.
Like, it wasn't even really close for us. Iron Rattler kind of blew New Texas Giant out of the water. I think, at least for me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I didn't think much of New Texas Giant.
Yeah, so I hope they're both awesome, though. And I'll say Wicked Cyclone. I'll go for that.
No, we're in agreement. So that's it. We'll both be there.
Yep. Not going to Great Adventure for that looping shit, whatever the hell that's called.
Yeah, no. Ring of Fire, I'll pass. But you know what? Before we wrap this up, we have to mention, because we haven't gotten to it, probably the most exciting of all the new additions for 2015. Six Flags over Georgia. Not only are they getting the Joker ride, they're getting a Harley Quinn ride. It's Harley Quinn Spin Sanity. It's Spin Sanity. And there you have it. All the Six Flags new for 2015 announcements. Stay tuned for other park announcements in the coming weeks. Thanks for riding.